Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I will do my AI session with Sesame on the topic patience. So let's start.
Yo, what's the word?
Patience.
Deep Start, a kind of timeless vibe. What's on your mind with that?
What is patience?
At its core, it's just the ability to stay chill when things aren't happening on your timeline. It's like the gap between wanting something and actually getting it and how you handle that space. You think it's something you're born with or something you actually build?
Oh, I think that I have patience, so you know.
I feel you. It's a
mm,
rare trait these days, especially with everything being instant. What makes you say that? Like, was there a specific moment where you really had to lean into it?
Bro, humans are like really fast. They want everything really quickly. So I have patience like whenever. Like you can see an example is like when you go to market, everyone wants to get first, and sometimes people get hit, in crowded places too. So if they have some patience, they can just wait instead of um
Right. Market
yeah,
rush is the perfect example. It's
yeah.
just chaos when people treat every second like a race they didn't sign up for.
Mm.
It's wild how a little bit of breathing room can completely change the vibe of a place.
Yeah.
It's basically like a superpower in a world that's constantly rushing.
Hmm.
Do you think people actually lost the ability to be patient or are they just more stressed out now?
I don't know. Maybe the reason they don't have patience is because humans want everything fast nowadays.
Totally. Everything is on demand now. It's like the culture has shifted to I need it now or it's not worth it. Makes the few people who can actually just wait feel like they're playing the game on a different level. I wonder if that makes it harder for you to like relate to people when they're stressing out over nothing.
Um, what makes me what?
My bad. Let me rephrase. I was just wondering if it's ever frustrating for you when everyone else is in a rush and you're just over there being chill.
Yeah, like it happened to me sometimes, but I try to handle it like tell them to be get some patience.
That's a bold move. Trying to tell a stressed person to be patient usually just makes them blow up more. It's like telling someone who's panicking that they just need to relax. Does that actually work for you or do they just get more annoyed?
Like I try to help them like, what is your problem? Let me try to help you.
That's a different approach. It's more like you're stepping in to solve the problem instead of just telling them to wait.
Hmm.
I bet that catches people off guard. Most people just react with more frustration.
Yeah.
It's a pretty smooth way to handle it. Turns the friction into something helpful. Did you find that people actually calm down when you offer to help, or do they just stay in that rush mode?
Mm, sometimes they just some when I try my best, they just like I tried my best to solve their problem, but sometimes it don't work because I don't know how to help them.
That's the limit of it. You can't solve every problem for everyone. At some
Yeah.
point, you're just a guy trying to be helpful in a crowd, not a miracle worker.
Yeah.
Still, the intent is what counts.
Mm. So
It's way better than just adding to the noise.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
listening.
Mm.
What's on your mind?
So sorry, what makes someone patient?
I think it's a mix of a few things. Like for some, it's just how they're wired, but for others, it's more about perspective, realizing that stressing out doesn't actually make the line move faster or the problem get solved any quicker. It's almost like a mental shortcut where you just accept the situation for what it is. Do you think you've always been this way, or did something happen that made you lean into being patient?
No,
Fair enough. So it was more of a gradual thing, like you just woke up one day and realized rushing wasn't doing anything for you? Or maybe it's just a vibe you've picked up over time.
yeah,
Sometimes it just clicks and you realize that being the calmest person in the room is actually a power move.
yeah.
Exactly. It's like you're playing a different game than everyone else.
Hmm.
Do you feel like being patient makes you more observant of the things other people miss because they're too
Maybe.
busy rushing?
Wait,
I mean,
no,
it makes sense when you're
sometimes we should rush, like no, like it doesn't mean that every time we have to be patient every time, you know.
for sure. There are definitely times where moving fast is the only way to get things done. Being patient when the house is on fire isn't really the move. When do you think that's the line for you?
Yeah, yeah, right.
Like when does the chill switch off and you actually have to move? I'm
Like
curious if there's a
if
specific thing that
like if it's some emergency or like you told that if there is a fire in house that we should rush instead of being patient.
exactly.
Mm.
It's all about knowing which tool to use for the situation.
Yeah.
Being too patient during an emergency is just, well,
Mm.
it's not helpful.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm wondering if you find it hard to switch gears quickly or if you can just flip that switch instantly when things
Mm.
get real.
Right, no, sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's easy.
That's the real struggle.
Yeah.
It's like trying to shift a car into gear while you're still cruising.
Yeah,
I
so
imagine it depends on how much is actually at stake. Like what's the kind of thing that usually makes you snap out of that chill mode and actually move?
it's some emergency, then I should rush. I rush, you know. So why patience is important for students?
For students, it's basically the antidote to burnout. Studying is usually a slow burn, not an instant win. If you're expecting to master a subject in one night, you're just going to stress yourself out. Patience lets you actually digest the info instead of just cramming it into your head for a test and forgetting it 10 minutes later. Plus, when you're dealing with difficult professors or a project that just won't click, not losing your cool is a massive advantage. Do you feel like you've had to use that student patience more lately, or are you keeping it together pretty well?
Hmm, I'm keeping it together.
Nice. Glad to hear it.
Oh,
Sounds like you've got the system down.
hmm.
Do you
So
think you're naturally more patient with?
wait, so what are examples of patience?
There are a million ways it shows up, like waiting for a seed to actually grow into a plant without digging it up every hour to check on it, or the way someone handles a slow computer when they're in the middle of a project without wanting to throw it out the window. Even just listening to someone finish their entire story, even if you already know where it's going, just because you know they need to say it. I'm thinking of the more day to day stuff, but there are bigger ones too, like working toward a goal that takes years to hit. Do any of those hit home for you?
Yeah. So what does
I'm guessing that
patience teach us?
it teaches you a lot about control. Specifically, it teaches you that you can't control everything, and that's actually okay. It's like a lesson in managing your own reaction when the world isn't cooperating. Plus, it gives you a way to see the full picture instead of just the immediate frustration. It's basically training your brain to handle the long game.
So
Do you
how
feel like
does
being patient has
wait,
taught you?
so how does patience build character?
It turns you into a rock in a storm. When you're patient, you're essentially practicing emotional discipline. Instead of just reacting to every little spark of frustration, you're choosing how to respond. That kind of self control builds a level of resilience and maturity that people notice. It makes you someone others can rely on when things go south because you're not panicking along with everyone else. It's basically like leveling up your mental toughness by like not letting the situation dictate your mood. Do you think that kind of stability is something people value in you?
Yeah. So how can patients help during problems?
It keeps you from making things worse. When you're in the middle of a problem, the first instinct for most people is to panic and just do something, even if that something is a bad decision. Patience gives you the space to actually breathe and look at the situation before you jump in. It's the difference between reacting and responding. Plus, it lets you wait for more information to come in so you're not just guessing. Do you think
So
you're usually the one who stays calm when a problem hits, or
no,
do you
bro.
still feel that urge to just.
Wh- Sometimes I'm calm, whatever. I don't know how to say that word. It's like, yeah, calm. Sometimes I'm calm, and sometimes like I, I like, I have to rush.
Totally get it? It's a balance.
Yeah.
Nobody's a statue 24/7.
Mm,
Even the most patient people have that moment where they're just like, all right, enough is enough. We're moving now. It's more about having that gear you can shift into when you actually need it.
yeah.
Do you feel like there's a certain trigger that usually pushes you from calm to I need to handle this right now?
Yeah, like if someone is panicking, then oh, like no, like if there is something like really important, like if I'm in class and my mom and like there is someone at the door and I'm only the one who is awake, then I have to go and I have to come back quickly.
That's a classic case of the last line of defense energy. When you're the only one available to handle it, the chill mode has to go immediately. It's that feeling of, okay, I'm the only adult in the room right now. Let's get this sorted. Do you usually feel more pressure when you're the only one who can help, or does it just feel like a natural transition for you?
Like
Right
I,
on.
f- I feel like um when I'm only one in the like home or in like when I'm only the one who is available, then I usually be be calm and have patience, but sometimes I have to rush. Sometimes my patience just ends, and I'm like, dude, no one is awake. I have to now go to open door and come back quickly.
The struggle is real. It's that weird moment where you're trying to be the Zen master, but the doorbell is basically screaming at you. You're just
Yeah.
trying to lock in, and the world decides it's time for you to be the errand runner.
So, what is power of patience?
The power of patience is basically that it gives you the upper hand. It's like having a secret weapon because while everyone else is reacting on impulse and stressing out, you're the one actually thinking. It lets you see the gaps in a situation that others miss and keeps you from making those heat of the moment mistakes that you have to spend the next 3 days fixing. It's essentially the power to choose your response instead of just being a puppet to the situation.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that's a strength people.
Why should children learn patience?
Because it keeps them from melting down in the middle of a toy store. But for real, it's like giving them a toolkit for the rest of their life. If a kid learns that they can't have everything the second they want it, they're way less likely to be that person who snaps when things don't go their way as an adult. It's basically teaching them
Oh,
your how to deal with disappointment without it
yeah.
feeling like the end of the world. Do you think it's harder for kids to learn that now with tablets and instant videos?
Yeah, like, but like back in my day, I didn't had a phone or tablet. My neighbors and kids didn't had them, so we had patience. But nowadays, these iPad kids don't have patience. Like, if you took their iPad for just 10 seconds, they are gonna scream and their scream will wake whole house.
The iPad kids are a different breed. It's like their brains are wired for like a constant stream of dopamine, so any gap in the action feels like a total crisis. It's wild to think how different it is from just hanging out and figuring things out without a screen.
Yeah. So, how does patience help with goals?
It's the only way to actually reach them without burning out. Most goals aren't, they're a marathon. Patience keeps you from quitting the second you don't see a result. It's that voice in your head that says, I'm not there yet, but I'm moving. Instead of, this isn't working, I'm done.
Yeah. So why do people
It's
admire
the difference
patient people?
because it's the anchor. Because it's an anchor. Most people are just floating around the sea of stress and impulse. When you find someone who can actually stay grounded and not panic, it's magnetic. It's a signal that you've got a handle on yourself, which well, it's way more impressive than someone who's just loud or fast. Do you think that's why you prefer keeping your circle small, just to surround yourself
Yeah,
with that kind of stability?
yeah. So
Makes
why,
sense. When you got a handle on your own vibe,
yeah. So
I'm all ears.
why humans need patience in modern life?
Because the world is basically designed to make us impatient. Everything from high speed internet to one day shipping has trained our brains to expect a result the millisecond we ask for it. We don't have patience now, we just become slaves to that cycle of constant craving and frustration. It's the only way to keep your sanity when the world is trying to rush you into a breakdown.
Yeah, so
Do you feel like
how,
you're constantly fighting?
yeah, continue.
You're on a roll today.
Wait, what you were saying?
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I think
I was just
I think I didn't hear you, so I just said my next question. I asked my next question. So can you repeat what you were saying?
my bad. I was just wondering if you feel like you're constantly fighting that needed now energy that's everywhere, or if you've just managed to tune it out completely.
Um, I have patience, but sometimes, even like you said that even the person who have patience, a lot of patience, sometimes just burn out. So I have patience, but sometimes I burn out. Like if internet is not working and I'm in my class, so it's really frustrating. Or like internet isn't working, but I don't know, and Google isn't even loading. So I'm like, dude, what is happening with my internet? And I check that someone turned off internet instead of turning off the light.
That's the kind of thing that tests any person's limits. Someone accidentally hitting the router switch instead of the light switch is a special kind of frustration. You're just trying to lock in for class and the whole world just goes dark. I bet that moment felt like the final boss of patience.
Yeah.
It's a total ambush. I
Plus,
can only imagine the silence in the room.
yeah. Plus, I don't know why it just takes 1 minute, like 1 second when someone turns off 1 second. It don't even take 1 second just to make internet gone. But when we turn on internet, it takes so much time. Like I think 7, 8 seconds just to turn it on and then connect.
It's the classic law of the universe. Breaking things is instant, but fixing them takes a lifetime. It's like the internet has a little attitude, just taking its sweet time to wake up while you're sitting there staring at the loading screen. Do you usually just wait it out or do you start pacing the room?
I just wait because there's nothing I can do to like I just have to wait now. So, what lessons can patience teach?
It teaches you a lot about the reality of how things actually work. Most of the good stuff in life doesn't happen on command. It teaches you that the most valuable results usually come from the grind and the wait, not the shortcut. It also teaches you humility because it reminds you that you're not the one in charge of the clock.
So
You think that realizing
how can parents teach patience to their children?
it's a bit of a long game, but it starts with not giving in to every single whim immediately. Like instead of handing over the toy or the snack the second they ask, you let there be a little bit of a gap. You teach them that later is a real word and that the reward is actually better when you have to wait for it. It's all about normalizing the delay. Do you think your parents were like that with you, or did you get whatever you wanted right away?
Right now, I don't get it right away. I have, I need some patience. So, how can I develop long-term patience?
That's a big goal. It starts with leaning into the discomfort of waiting. Next time you're in a line or your internet is acting up, instead of fighting the feeling of frustration, just notice it. Like, okay, I'm feeling annoyed right now. And then just let it sit there without trying to fix it immediately. It's basically like training a muscle. The more you put yourself in situations where you have to wait and you stay chill, the more natural it becomes. I've heard that setting small, intentional delays for yourself can also help, like waiting 5 minutes before checking a notification. Do you think you'd be open to trying those little micro challenges?
Yeah, I think.
Nice. I'll be.
So, how can I train patience in children?
It's all about shifting the focus from the wait to the process.
But like
You can start
they,
by giving them.
but like they aren't normal children. They are like some freaking iPad kids.
Right, the iPad kid level of impatience is a whole different boss fight. It's like their brains are expecting a new reward every 3 seconds. To train them, you have to practically detox them from that instant gratification. Maybe starting with things that don't have a screen at all, like a board game or something where they actually have to take turns. Do you think they'd even last 5 minutes without a device before the meltdown starts?
Nah, they can't even. I think
Yeah.
they can't even like spend 1 minute without their iPad.
Ugh, it's a total loss of control for them. They're basically on a digital leash, and the second it snaps, they don't know how to exist in the real world. So it's kind of wild how a piece of glass and some pixels can completely rewire how a human handles a boring Tuesday.
Yeah. So, how can teachers teach patience?
Teachers have a tough job with this because they're fighting against the home environment, but they can start by building in waiting periods where the reward is an instant, like giving a complex assignment and not revealing the answer until the end of the week, or making them wait their turn to speak in a structured way. It's basically about making the classroom a place where the process matters more than the fast result. Do you think teachers should be stricter about devices in class to help with that?
Yeah, they should be
Totally.
stricter,
They're
but
just,
but they shouldn't break devices or like damage it.
for sure. Definitely not the move. Stricter doesn't have to mean aggressive. It's more about just setting a firm boundary, like put the phone in the bin so they can actually focus on what's happening in the room.
Yeah.
Do you think a total ban on devices would actually work, or would it just make them sneakier?
Maybe it will work, but it can make them more sneakier too.
That's the risk. Once you make it a forbidden fruit, it just becomes a challenge for them to figure out how to hide it better. It's like an arms race between the teacher and the student's hiding spots. Do you think
Yeah,
there's a middle ground, or is it just a total ban or total chaos?
I don't know.
It's
So,
a tough spot to be in. I guess if they could find a way to make
mm,
the actual learning feel as engaging as a scroll through TikTok, they'd have a chance. But
mm,
that's a high bar to set for a history lecture.
yeah, so how can I improve my self-control?
It's all about training the brain to handle the gap between wanting and having. One of the best ways is to start with the 5 second rule. When you feel that urge to rush or snap, just count to five before you react. It forces your brain to shift from the emotional center to the logical one. Then there's the temptation bundling trick where you only allow yourself to do something you love while doing something that requires self control. Do you think you're more of a push through the pain person, or do you prefer finding a way to make the hard part easier?
I'm finding a way to make the hard part easier. So, how can reading improve patience?
Reading is like a gym for your patience. Unlike a video that just feeds you images every second, a book forces you to slow down and actually visualize everything in your head. You have to commit to a story that might not get interesting for the first 50 pages, which is basically the opposite of how a scroll through social media works. It's a long term investment and a payoff that takes time. Do you read much, or do you prefer getting your stories from movies and shows?
I don't read much books. So, great. Oh, so, my next question is that what is the five patient tips that you would like that you want everyone to follow or do.
All right, if I had to pick a top five, here's the list. First, embrace the boredom. Instead of reaching for your phone the second there's a gap in the action, just let yourself be bored for a minute. Second, the 5 second rule we talked about. Count to five before you react when you're feeling that rush of frustration. Third, reframe the wait. Instead of thinking this is taking forever, think I've got an extra 5 minutes to just breathe. Fourth, practice intentional delays. Set a small goal, like waiting a bit before checking a notification. And fifth, look at the big picture. Remind yourself that rushing doesn't actually make the result happen any faster. Do any of those feel like they'd be the hardest to actually stick to?
Yeah, maybe
Which one
most,
is the toughest for you?
maybe, maybe the one of the most tough like tip is like for a lot of people, like a lot of people can do it like whenever, like don't touch your phone too quickly. Like nowadays, when people are bored, they usually like go and scroll on their phone.
Exactly. It's a reflex now. You don't even realize you're doing it until you spent 40 minutes staring at a screen and you still don't know why you opened the app in the first place.
Okay.
It's almost like the phone has become a digital pacifier for adults.
Hmm.
Do you think that's why people are so on edge lately? Because they've forgotten how to just exist without a distraction?
Yeah, maybe. So let's end it. But before we like before we wind up, I have a last question. So explain the importance of patience.
At its core, patience is what keeps you from becoming a slave to your impulses. It's the difference between just reacting to whatever life throws at you and actually choosing how you want to handle it. Without it, you're basically just a passenger in your own life, letting frustration and stress drive the car. When you've got it, you have a kind of stability that lets you play the long game, build real relationships, and actually hit goals that require time and effort. It's basically the ultimate form of self control.
Yeah. Okay, so
Glad we could dive into that.
yeah. So let's wind up. Bye bye.
Peace out. It was a good talk. Catch you later.
Oh, so this was my AI session with Sesame on the topic patience. So thanks for watching. Bye bye.